Hello, this is Dave with Organic Gardening in North Carolina. It is February the 21st and it is 57 degrees out this morning. So we got a great day. We have signs of spring coming. So I will turn the camera around and show you, give you a little garden tour of what's going on today. Okay, here's the vetch that I planted. It's growing up on this tomato cage, and I don't know if it's going to recover in the rest of the garden or not. It looks like it might. Looks like there's some green shoots coming up. Oh yeah, there are. There definitely are green shoots coming up all over the place. So that's probably going to grow, and then I will chop it down and put some wood chips on top of that. Here are my onions. They don't look like they did very well with the weather, and have a bunch of weeds in there that I need to pull out. And so I'll be putting some wood chips on top of that too. Okay, here's the garlic. This is the garlic that I planted from the regular bottom cloves. Then the next two rows were from the little clove or seed pods that were on top of the garlic. I put some Good King Henry, perpetual spinach, and one other kind of spinach or green thing in this bed last fall. Too late, because it was just starting to get going when we got the really cold weather. So I don't know if they're going to recover. Of course, the Good King Henry didn't come up at all because it needs the cold weather to sprout. That's what I'm hoping that that's going to sprout soon. I have my hugelkultur beds. I planted them with some kind of greens. There's some arugula, and maybe Swiss chard right there. Looks like some Swiss chard made it through the winter, starting to sprout out again. There's some kale over here. It's starting to sprout out and grow again. More kale. My blackberries are starting to come out. I believe I planted some carrots down here the other day. Here is the oh, my mind's drawing a blank. Comfrey. Here's the comfrey. It's sprouting out. Some of the outer leaves did die over the winter, so those will crumble up and be nitrogen for the soil. That's the good thing about comfrey. Their leaves can be used for putting in the for fertilizer immediately. They don't have to decompose or compost or anything. Right here's Swiss chard that made it through the winter, or some of it did. Some of its leaves got frozen pretty badly. We got some nights that were down to about 20. That's about as low as we got here this winter. And I do have greens, all kinds of different greens planted in here. Let's see, I got perennial arugula planted, so that should be coming up soon. Also got perpetual spinach chard, and maybe some other regular kale. I think I usually plant a lot of kale. I did take a video so I would remember what I planted. Here's some arugula. Have to eat that. And since it was planted last year, looks like it's going to seed. So we'll have arugula seeds. Some of my biochar in there. More arugula, some Tokyo onions. There's a kale plant that made it. There's another kale plant. My raspberries haven't started sprouting out yet. They probably will soon. They're a pretty early crop. I wouldn't be surprised if I see some asparagus coming up here soon too. That's the asparagus bed that I crunched the tops down and just let them lay on top. I purchased some lettuce. This is Butter Crunch. I just purchased these and planted them yesterday. So I should be being able to pick the little small leaves off of that soon. So there were 9 trays in there. There's another kale that made it through. I also got a tray of broccoli. I got these plants yesterday too and put them in. We're supposed to get some rain the next 3 days, so that'll be great for them. There's my Jerusalem artichokes, which I have not planted, or I have not pulled out very much of them. I did pull out some the other day and made some stir fry with them. They actually got bigger than I thought they would because of what a dry year we had last year. There's a little one. Because I did dig in here a little bit earlier. There's a pretty nice sized one. And the stir fry was delicious. Just leave those under there. Maybe I'll do a video of harvesting them, see how many we get from this little bed. I also got onion sets yesterday and planted them. I think it said there were about 40 onions in one little packet. These were so small, I think I actually got more than that. I also got some strawberries and planted them about a week ago. So they're just barely starting to sprout now. I believe there were 10 in a little box that I got at the Lowe's store or something. So they weren't like amazing plant starts or anything. But they're starting to turn green and sprout, so we'll see what happens with them. It's my worm pit. Here are marigolds from last year. If you pull on that pod there, you'll see that there are tons and tons of seeds ready to start growing. I haven't bought marigolds for a long time. These seeds just go down and start new plants. Or I can take them inside and start them in some flats too to get them going better before the season starts. I also do have cilantro that made it through the winter that's sprouting out all around the garden. And I got weeds coming too. I need to put another layer of wood chips on top. Here's where I had some of the daikon radishes, which totally rotted out. So that's good for the soil. I put some more of those onions here. Here's my existing strawberry plants that are starting to come to life. There's even a bloom there. June bearing in the south is like April or May bearing. I did weed this strawberry bed to give the strawberries a chance. Another kale plant. That's about all in this garden. The catnip made it through the winter. let me show you the garden I had with a lot of greens in the fall here around our cherry tree. They did not make it very well unless they start sprouting out more than I see. There's some kale that made it. And maybe some Swiss chard right there that made it through. Maybe some other Swiss chard will come out. Let's see, we got some, I don't know if those are daffodils or tulips or something that are starting to sprout out already. Then I will show you over here where I had the green bean teepee. I have a couple collards that made it through the winter. There's collards there, there's a collard. And actually one kale made it through the winter here too. Alright, well, that's it for February. Hopefully next month we'll have a lot more things up and growing to show you. Have a blessed day. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.